Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. June 14th, 2025. And if you please turn to page 157 in your complete Jewish Bible, we will start our reading with Numbers 8:1. Adonai said to Moses, "Tell Aaron when you set up the lamps, the 7 lamps to cast their light forward in front of the menorah." Aaron did this. He lit its lamps so as to give light in front of the menorah, as Adonai had ordered Moses. Here's how the menorah was made. It was hammered gold from its base to its flowers. Hammered work followed the pattern Adonai had shown Moses. This is how he made the menorah.
Adonai said to Moses, "Take the Levi from among the people of Israel and cleanse them. Here is how you are to cleanse them. Sprinkle the purification water on them. Have them shave their whole body with a razor, and have them wash their clothes and cleanse themselves. Then they are to take a young bull with its grain offering, which is to be fine flour mixed with olive oil, while you take another bull for a sin offering. You are to present the Levi in front of the tent of meeting and assemble the entire community of the people of Israel. You will present the Levi before Adonai. The people of Israel will lay their hands on the Levi, and Aaron will offer the Levi before Adonai as a wave offering from the people of Israel, so that they may do Adonai's service. The Levi will lay their hands on the heads of the bulls, the one you will offer as a sin offering, and the other as a burnt offering to Adonai to make atonement for the Levi. You are to place the Levi before Aaron and his sons, and offer them as a wave offering to Adonai. In this way you will separate the Levi from the people of Israel, and the Levi will belong to me."
After that, the Levi will enter and do the service of the tent of meeting. He will cleanse them and offer them as a wave offering, because they are entirely given to me from among the people of Israel. I have taken them for myself in place of all those who come first out of the womb. That is, the firstborn males of the people of Israel. For all the firstborn among the people of Israel are mine, both humans and animals. On the day I struck all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, I set them apart for myself. But I have taken the Levi in place of all the firstborn among the people of Israel. And I have given the Levi to Aaron and his sons from among the people of Israel to do the service of the people of Israel in the tent of meeting, and to make atonement for the people of Israel, so that no plague will fall on the people of Israel in consequence of their coming too close to the sanctuary.
This is what Moses, Aaron, and all the community of the people of Israel did to the Levi. The people of Israel acted in accordance with everything that Adonai had ordered Moses in regard to the Levi, and the Levi purified themselves and washed their clothes. Then Aaron offered them as a holy gift before Adonai and made atonement for them in order to cleanse them. After that, the Levi came to do their service in the tent of meeting in front of Aaron and his sons, and they acted in accordance with Adonai's orders to Moses in regard to the Levi.
Adonai said to Moses, "Here are the instructions concerning the Levi. When they reach the age of 25, they are to begin performing their duties serving in the tent of meeting. And when they reach the age of 50, they are to stop performing this work and not serve any longer. They will assist their brothers who are performing their duties in the tent of meeting, but they themselves will not do any of the work. This is what you are to do with the Levi in regard to their duties."
Adonai spoke to Moses in the Sinai desert in the first month of the second year after they had left the land of Egypt. And he said, "Let the people of Israel observe Pesach at its designated time. On the 14th day of this month at dusk you are to observe it at its designated time. You are to observe it according to all its regulations and rules. And Moses told the people of Israel to observe Pesach. So they observed Pesach at dusk on the 14th day of the month in the Sinai desert. The people of Israel acted in accordance with all that Adonai had ordered Moses.
But there were certain people who had become unclean because of someone's corpse, so they could not observe Passover on that day. So they came before Moses and Aaron that day and said to him, "We are unclean because of someone's corpse. But why must we be kept from bringing the offering for Adonai at the time designated for the people of Israel?" Moses answered them, "Wait, so that I can hear what Adonai will order concerning you." Adonai said to Moses, "Tell the people of Israel, if any of you now or in future generations is unclean because of a corpse, or if he's on a trip abroad, nevertheless he is to observe Passover. But he will observe it in the second month on the 14th day at dusk. They are to eat it with matzah and manna. They are to leave none of it until morning, and they are not to break any of its bones. They are to observe it according to all the regulations of Passover. But the person who is clean and not on a trip who fails to observe Passover will be cut off from his people, because he did not bring the offering for Adonai at its designated time. That person will bear the consequences of his sin. If a foreigner is staying with you and wants to observe Passover for Adonai, he is to do it according to the regulations and rules of Passover. You are to have the same law for the foreigner as for the citizen of the land."
On the day the tabernacle was put up, the cloud covered the tabernacle, that is, the tent of the testimony. And in the evening over the tabernacle was what appeared to be fire, which remained until morning. So the cloud always covered it, and it looked like fire at night. Whenever the cloud was taken up from above the tent, the people of Israel continued their travels, and they camped wherever the cloud stopped. At the order of Adonai, the people of Israel traveled. At the order of Adonai, they camped, and as long as the cloud stayed over the tabernacle, they stayed in camp. Even when the cloud remained on the tabernacle for a long time, the people of Israel did what Adonai had charged them to do and did not travel. Sometimes the cloud was a few days over the tabernacle according to Adonai's order. They remained in camp, and according to Adonai's order, they traveled. Sometimes the cloud was there only from evening until morning, so that when the cloud was taken up in the morning, they traveled. Or even if it continued up both day and night, when the cloud was up, they traveled. Whether it was 2 days, a month, or a year, that the cloud remained over the tabernacle, staying on it, the people of Israel remained in camp and did not travel. But as soon as it was taken up, they traveled. At Adonai's order, they camped, and at Adonai's order, they traveled. They did what Adonai had charged them to do through Moses.
Adonai said to Moses, "Make 2 trumpets. Make them of hammered silver. Use them for summoning the community and for sounding the call to break camp and move on. When they are sounded, the entire community is to assemble at the entrance to the tent of meeting. If only one is sounded, then just the leaders, the heads of the clans of Israel, are to assemble before you.
When you sound an alarm, the camps to the east will commence traveling. When you sound the second alarm, the camps to the south will set out. They will sound alarms to announce when travel. However, when the community is to be assembled, you are to sound, but don't sound an alarm. It will be the sons of Aaron, the Cohen, who are to sound the trumpets. This will be a permanent regulation for you through all your generations."
When you go to war and you land against an adversary who is oppressing you, you are to sound an alarm with the trumpets. Then you'll be remembered before Adonai your God, and you will be saved from your enemies.
Also, on your days of rejoicing, at your designated times, and on Rosh Chodesh, you are to sound the trumpets over your burnt offerings and over the sacrifices of your peace offerings. These will be your reminder before your God. I am Adonai your God.
On the 20th day of the second month of the second year, the cloud was taken up from over the tabernacle of the testimony, and the people of Israel moved out in stages from the Sinai desert. The cloud stopped in the Paran desert.
So they set out on their first journey in keeping with Adonai's order through Moses. In the lead was the banner of the camp of the descendants of Judah, whose companies moved forward. Over his company was Nachshon, the son of Ammividah. Over the company of the tribe of the descendants of Issachar was Nathaniel, the son of Tezur. Over the company of the descendants of Zebulun was Eliab, the son of Helon.
Then the tabernacle was taken down, and the descendants of Gershon and the descendants of Merari set out, carrying the tabernacle.
Next, the banner of the camp of Reuben moved forward by companies. Over his company was Elitzator, the son of Shadur. Over the company of the tribe of the descendants of Simon was Shlomilal, the son of Tazudishade. Over the company of the descendants of Gad was Eliasaph, the son of Duel.
Then the descendants of Kahat set out, carrying the sanctuary, so that at the next camp the tabernacle could be set up before they arrived.
The banner of the camp of the descendants of Ephraim moved forward by companies. Over his company was Elishama, the son of Ammihud. Over the company of the tribe of the descendants of Manasseh was Gimiel, the son of Padasa. Over the company of the descendants of Benjamin was Abidan, the son of Gideoni.
The banner of the camp of the descendants of Dan, forming the rear guard for all the camps, moved forward by companies. Over his company was Achezer, the son of Ammishaddai. Over the company of the tribe of the descendants of Asher was Pagiel, the son of Okran. Over the company of the descendants of Naphtali was Achirah, the son of Enan.
This is how the people of Israel traveled by companies. Thus they moved forward. Moses said to Moab, the son of Reuel, the Midiani, Moses' father-in-law, we are traveling to the place about which Adonai said, I will give it to you. Come with us, and we will treat you well, because Adonai has promised good things to Israel. But he replied, I will not go. I would rather go back to my own country and my own kinsmen. And Moses continued, please don't leave us, because you know that we have to camp in the desert, and you can serve as our eyes. If you do go with us, then whatever good Adonai does for us, we will do the same for you.
So they set out from Adonai's mountain and traveled for 3 days. Ahead of them on this 3-day journey went the ark of Adonai's covenant, searching for a new place to stop. The cloud of Adonai was over them during the day as they set out from the camp. When the ark moved forward, Moses said, Arise, Adonai, may your enemies be scattered. Let those who hate you flee before you. When it stopped, he said, Return, Adonai of the many, many thousands of Israel.
But the people of Israel began complaining about their hardships to Adonai. When Adonai heard it, his anger flared up, so that fire from Adonai broke out against them and consumed the outskirts of the camp. Then the people cried to Moses, and Moses prayed to Adonai, and the fire abated. That place was called Taberah, which means burning, because Adonai's fire broke out against them.
Next, the mixed crowd that was with them grew greedy for an easier life, while the people of Israel, for their part, also renewed their weeping and said, "If only we had meat to eat. We remember the fish we used to eat in Egypt. It cost us nothing. And the cucumbers, the melons, the leeks, the onions, the garlic. But now we're withering away. We have nothing to look at but this manna."
The manna, by the way, was like coriander seed and white like gum resin. The people would go around gathering it and would grind it up in mills and or pound it to a paste with mortar and pestle. Then they would cook it in pots and make it into loaves that tasted like cakes baked with olive oil. When the dew settled on the camp during the night, the manna came with it.
Moses heard the people crying, family after family, each person at the entrance to his tent. The anger of Adonai flared up violently, and Moses too was displeased. Moses asked Adonai, "Why are you treating your servant so badly? Why haven't I found favor in your sight, so that you put the burden of this entire people on me? Did I conceive this people? Was I their father, so that you tell me, carry them in your arms like a nurse carrying a baby, to the land you swore to their ancestors? Where am I going to get meat to give this entire people? Because they keep bothering me with their crying and saying, 'Give us meat to eat.' I can't carry this entire people by myself alone. It's too much for me. If you're going to treat me this way, then just kill me outright, please, if you have any mercy toward me. And don't let me go on being this miserable."
Adonai said to Moses, "Bring me 70 of the leaders of Israel's people you recognize as leaders of the people and officers of theirs. Bring them to the tent of meeting and have them stand there with you. And I will come down and speak with you there. And I will take some of the spirit which rests on you and put it on them. Then they will carry the burden of the people along with you, so that you won't carry it yourself alone."
Tell the people, "Consecrate yourselves for tomorrow, and you will eat meat, because you cried in the ears of Adonai. If only we had meat to eat. We had the good life in Egypt. All right, Adonai's going to give you meat, and you will eat it. You won't eat it just 1 day or 2 days, or 5 or 10 or 20 days, but a whole month, until it comes out of your nose and you hate it, because you have rejected Adonai, who is here with you, and distressed him with your crying and asking, 'Why did we ever leave Egypt?'"
But Moses said, "Here I am with 600,000 men on foot, and yet you say, 'I will give them meat to eat for a whole month.' If whole flocks and herds were slaughtered for them, would it be enough? If all the fish in the sea were collected for them, would even that be enough?" Adonai answered Moses, "Has Adonai's arm grown short? Now you will see whether what I said will happen or not."
Moses went out and told the people what Adonai had said. Then he collected 70 of the leaders of people and placed them all around the tent. Adonai came down in the cloud, spoke to him, took some of the spirit that was on him and put it on the 70 leaders. When the spirit came to rest on them, they prophesied. Then, but not afterwards.
There were 2 men who stayed in the camp, one named Eldad and the other Medad, and the Spirit came to rest on them. They were among those listed to go out to the tent, but they hadn't done so, and they prophesied in the camp. A young man ran and told Moses, "Eldad and Medad are prophesying in the camp, and Joshua the son of Nun, who from his youth up had been Moses' assistant, answered, "My Lord, Moses, stop them." But Moses replied, "Are you so zealous to protect me? I wish all of Adonai's people were prophets. I wish Adonai would put his spirit on all of them."
Moses and the leaders of Israel went back into the camp. And Adonai sent out a wind which brought quails from across the sea and let them fall near the camp, about a day's trip away on each side of the camp and all around it, covering the ground to a depth of 3 feet. The people stayed up all that day, all night, and all the next day gathering the quails. The person gathering the least collected 10 heaps, when they spread them out for themselves all around the camp. But while the meat was still in their mouth, before they had chewed it up, the anger of Adonai flared up against the people, and Adonai struck the people with a terrible plague. Therefore, the place was named Kivrat Hatavah, Graves of Greed, because there they buried the people who were so greedy.
From Kivrat Hatavah, the people traveled to Hatzerat, and they stayed at Hatzerat.
Miriam and Aaron began criticizing Moses on account of the Ethiopian woman he had married, for he had in fact married an Ethiopian woman. They said, "Is it true that Adonai has spoken only with Moses? Hasn't he spoken with us too?" Adonai heard them. Now this man, Moses, was very humble, more so than anyone on earth. Suddenly, Adonai told Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, "Come out, you 3, to the tent of meeting." The 3 of them went out.
Adonai came down in a column of cloud and stood at the entrance to the tent. He summoned Aaron and Miriam, and they both went forward. And he said, "Listen to what I say. When there is a prophet among you, I, Adonai, make myself known to him in a vision. I speak with him in a dream. But it isn't that way with my servant Moses. He is the only one who is faithful in my entire household. With him I speak face to face and clearly, not in riddles. He sees the image of Adonai, so why weren't you afraid to criticize my servant Moses?" The anger of Adonai flared up against them, and he left.
But when the cloud was removed from above the tent, Miriam had leprosy, as white as snow. Aaron looked at Miriam, and she was as white as snow. Aaron said to Moses, "Oh, my Lord, please don't punish us for the sin we committed so foolishly. Please don't let her be like a stillborn baby, with its body half eaten away when it comes out of its mother's womb." Moses cried to Adonai, "Oh God, I beg you, please heal her." Adonai answered Moses, "If her father had merely spit in her face, wouldn't she hide herself in shame for 7 days? So let her be shut out of the camp for 7 days. After that, she can be brought back in." Miriam was shut out of the camp for 7 days, and the people did not travel until she was brought back in. Afterwards, the people went on from Hatzerat and camped in the Paran desert. And then, if you please turn to page 775, we will read Zechariah 2:14 through 4:7. 774, sorry.
Zechariah 2:14. Sing, daughter of Zion, rejoice, for here I am coming, and I will live among you, says Adonai. When that time comes, many nations will join themselves to Adonai, and they will be my people, and I will live among you. Then you will know that it is Adonai Tazavo who sent me to you. Adonai will take possession of Judah as his portion in the Holy Land, and he will again make Jerusalem his choice. Be silent, all humanity, before Adonai, for he has been roused from his holy dwelling.
He showed me Joshua, the Cohen Haggadol, standing before the angel of Adonai, with the accuser standing at his right to accuse him. Adonai said to the accuser, "May Adonai rebuke you, accuser. Indeed, may Adonai, who has made Jerusalem his choice, rebuke you. Isn't this man a burning stick snatched from the fire?" Joshua was clothed in garments covered with dung, and he was standing before the angel, who said to those standing in front of him, "Take those filthy garments off of him." Then to him he said, "See, I am taking your guilt away. I will clothe you in fine robes." I said, "They should put a clean turban on his head." So they put a clean turban on his head and gave him fine robes to wear, while the angel of Adonai stood by. Then the angel of Adonai gave Joshua this warning. Adonai Zavaot says this, "If you will walk in my ways, obey my commission, judge my house and guard my courtyards, then I will give you free access among those who are standing here. Listen, Cohen Haggadol Joshua, both you and your colleagues seated here before you, because these men are a sign that I'm going to bring my servant Sprout. For look at the stone I have put in front of Joshua. On one stone are 7 eyes. I will engrave what is to be written on it, says Adonai Zavaot, and I will remove the guilt of this land in one day. When that day comes, says Adonai Zavaot, you will all invite each other to join you under your vines and fig trees."
Then the angel that had been speaking with me returned and roused me as if he were waking someone up from being asleep, and asked me, "What do you see?" And I answered, "I've been looking at a menorah. It's all gold, it's all of gold with a bowl on its top, 7 lamps on it and 7 tubes leading to the lamps at its top. Next to it are 2 olive trees, one on the right side of the bowl and one on its left." I then asked the angel speaking with me, "What are these, my lord?" And the angel speaking with me said, "Don't you know what these are?" And I said, "No, my lord." Then he answered me, "This is the word of Adonai to Zerubbabel. No, not by force and not by power, but by my spirit, says Adonai Zavaot. What are you, a big mountain? Before Zerubbabel you will become a plain, and he will put a capstone in place as everyone shouts, 'It's beautiful, beautiful.'" This message from Adonai came to me in the hands of Zerubbabel. Have laid the foundation of his house, of this house, and his hands will also finish it. Then you will know that Adonai Zavaot sent me to you. For even someone who doesn't think much of a day when such minor events take place will rejoice at seeing the plumb line in the hand of Zerubbabel. So these 7 are the eyes of Adonai that range about over all the earth.
And if you'll please turn to page 1432, we'll read 1 Corinthians 12:1 through 1433, I'm sorry. "But brothers, I do not want you to go on being ignorant about the things of the Spirit. You know that when you were pagans, no matter how you felt you were being led astray to idols, which can't speak at all. Therefore I want to make it clear to you that no one speaking by the Spirit of God ever says, 'Yeshua is cursed,' and no one can say, 'Yeshua is Lord,' except by the Ruach HaKodesh."
Now, there are different kinds of gifts, but the same Spirit gives them. Also, there are different ways of serving, but it is the same Lord being served. And there are different modes of working, but it is the same God working them all in everyone. Moreover, to each person is given a particular manifestation of the Spirit that will be for the common good. To one, through the Spirit, is given a word of wisdom, to another a word of knowledge in accordance with the same Spirit, to another faith by the same Spirit, and to another gifts of healing by the one Spirit, to another the working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another the ability to judge between spirits, and to another the ability to speak in different kinds of tongues, and yet another the ability to interpret tongues. One of the same Spirit is at work in all these things, distributing to each person as he chooses. For just as the body is one, but has many parts, and all the parts of the body, though many, constitute one body, so it is with the Messiah. For it was by one Spirit that we were all immersed into one body, whether Jews or Gentiles, slaves or free, and we were all given the one Spirit to drink.
For indeed the body is not one part, but many. If the foot says, I'm not a hand, so I'm not part of the body, that doesn't make it stop being part of the body. And if an ear says, I'm not an eye, so I'm not part of the body, that doesn't make it stop being part of the body. If the whole body were an eye, how could it hear? If it were all hearing, how could it smell? But as it is, God arranged each of the parts of the body exactly as he wanted them. Now, if they were all just one part, where would the body be? But as it is, there are indeed many parts, yet just one body. So the eye cannot say to the hand, I don't need you, or the head to the feet, I don't need you. On the contrary, the parts of the body that seem to be less important turn out to be all the more necessary. And upon body parts, which we consider less dignified, we bestow greater dignity. And the parts that aren't attractive are the ones we make as attractive as we can, while our attractive parts have no need for such treatment. Indeed, God has put the body together in such a way that he gives greater dignity to the parts that lack it, so that there will be no disagreements within the body, but rather all the parts will be equally concerned for all the others. Thus, if one part suffers, all the parts suffer with it, and if one part is honored, all the parts share its happiness.
Now you together constitute the body of the Messiah, and individually you are parts of it. And God has placed in the Messianic community first emissaries, second prophets, third teachers, then those who work miracles, then those with gifts of healing, those with ability to help, those skilled in administration, and those who speak in various tongues. Not all are emissaries, are they? Not all are prophets, are they? Or teachers, or miracle workers? Not all have gifts of healing, and not all speak in tongues. Not all interpret, do they? Eagerly seek the better gifts. But now I will show you the best way of all.
I may speak in the tongues of men, even angels, but if I lack love, I have become merely blaring brass or a cymbal clanging.
I may have the gift of prophecy. I may fathom all mysteries, know all things, have all faith, enough to move mountains, but if I lack love, I am nothing.
I may give away everything that I own. I may even hand over my body to be burned, but if I lack love, I gain nothing.
Love is patient and kind, not jealous and boastful, not proud, rude, or selfish, not easily angered, and it keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not gloat over other people's sins, but takes its delight in the truth. Love always bears up, always trusts, always hopes, and always endures.
Love never ends, but prophecies will pass. Tongues will cease, knowledge will pass. For our knowledge is partial, and our prophecy partial. But when the perfect comes, the partial will pass.
When I was a child, I spoke like a child, thought like a child, argued like a child. Now that I've become a man, I have finished with childish ways.
For now we see obscurity in a mirror, but then it will be face to face. Now I know partly, then I will know fully, just as God has fully known me.
But for now, 3 things last: trust, hope, love. And the greatest of these is love, so pursue love.
However, keep on eagerly seeking the things of the Spirit, and especially seek to be able to prophesy. For someone speaking in a tongue is not speaking to people, but to God, because no one can understand, since he's uttering mysteries in the power of the Spirit. But someone prophesying is speaking to people, edifying, encouraging, and comforting them. A person speaking in a tongue does edify himself, but a person prophesying edifies the congregation. I wish you would all speak in tongues, but even more, I wish you would all prophesy. The person who prophesies is greater than the person who speaks in tongues, unless someone gives an interpretation so that the congregation can be edified.
Thank you, Father God, for these great words of wisdom. We humble ourselves before you. We need you to guide us. We need you to reprimand us if it's necessary. Father God, again, we humble ourselves before you this day. Thank you for all the blessings that you do give us, and help us to be grateful for everything. In the name of Yeshua we pray this. Amen.
Amen.